and the who needed counseling and who needed symptoms, were exactly who I thought they were, which was good. And I've been around a long time, so those people that I put for those, like, I found that the counseled are people who have been around with me for a long time, and then the symptom people were more of the newer on fire people who who may be hitting their first downturn, that the counseled are the people who've had like 10 downturns in the business, and they're
very interesting observation.
Yeah, they're just like exhausted. And I mean, I get it. Like, and it's interesting because I just keep prescribing to those counsel people, like, I'm here for you. I'll, when you're ready to get out of this, you have everything you need. What do you need from me? And I'll be honest, a lot of them are just like, just knowing, like, just having you check in is, and that somebody cares. I think a lot of times, as much as I get frustrated with them, we all want to know somebody cares about us, and that we're not just a number in a downline. And I kind of pride myself in wanting to, a lot of these people are have become close friends, and I'm frustrated by their lack of movement, but at the same time, like, I do truly care about them. And so I think that they're appreciative of that. And I think because of that, they stay close by and they'll stay part of the tribe, kind of thing. So, and then the symptom people, I mean, that's easy. It's just like, okay, do this, like, here's a tool. I mean, it's almost overwhelming how much tools we have for me, even at this point. Like, when we came in, like, Chris has been here longer than I am, but we didn't have all this mess. Like, I remember being part of the first Coach Basics and the development of Coach Basics, and I have more Coach Basics posts on my laptop, like, streams of them, because we did them with Leanne when she was creating it before Kim was the direct, for training. And so there's almost like, Beachbody Champions, like, seriously, just go there. Like, I mean, the content coming out of Beachbody Champions is an excellent resource. It just is. So just get reinvigorated. I mean, it's just directing them to the exact thing, and me as a leader staying in the know of what is there, I guess, is now kind of my my task. I don't know if you feel like that.
But to your point, like I said, people in this category, they just need to be provided things. They're falling below because they just don't know where to find their resources. So like you said, knowing what's there, and to be completely honest, I haven't hadn't spent much time in the back office, but now with my new position, that's where I live, and in the training tab, I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many great trainings here that I was not aware of. But the fact that that they're there, knowing that, I can now, when I talk to coaches, recommend the right things, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Knowing what's out there, and then secondly, knowing what they need next. I think understanding and knowing their path and where they're at on their path is a very important thing to do, because rather than saying, oh, just look at this, you can systematically say, okay, I'm going to send them through these trainings, whether they're trainings that I put together or trainings that corporates put together or ones on YouTube. I want to make sure that they're provided the right tools so that they can become successful.
Yeah.
I'm like, ditto, ditto, ditto. It's exactly the same stuff. And I think those counseling people are the people that we need to go back to be their coach, not necessarily their leader. They need to get back on track with their fitness, their nutrition. And what happens is you think that you're a coach, automatically they're doing all those things. But just because maybe we're doing it every day and we're in it every day, we think they are, and they're not, and they fall off. And if you don't constantly check in and just be that support for them, then that's a huge thing. And so like one person, it was complete drama, like just so much stuff with her family. And then she's trying to, and I'm like, and I know this, and I'm on her all the time. You know how important this is. And she stays with this because she knows this is the most positive thing in her life. So it's that's her counseling. And then and then sometimes I get like so burnt out because I feel like I'm giving, and I said, I'm not a counselor. I'll be your coach, but I'm not your counselor. And it gets frustrating, but yet you want to help people. So you try to help them. That's part of coaching is the counseling, but then you just don't want to get caught up in all that they suck the life out of you, which, that's what's happening. I mean, like there's so much stuff going on. And I do say, thank God for 80 Day, keeping us focused with my grandmother, my kids, my husband, my parents, Beachbody, my coaches and my customers and my team. And it's like, whoa. And so we're just pulled in so many different directions. And so other people on that list, one is like, okay, I'm getting back on track. Another one quit because she's having issues with her husband who couldn't have any financial stuff on credit cards. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? You just quit. And then some coaches quit and they don't tell you. I put all my time into you and I get a cancellation form and you don't personally reach out to me and say, I just want to let you know this is what is happening. It's so frustrating out of respect, And then another one was slowly getting back on track, getting her back in one of my challenge groups. It's like back to step one. And then the people with the prescription or whatever the other group is.
Provide.
And then they're just, getting back on track and staying connected with them. And then I don't know if anybody uses the, through Jesse Regan, the MCB connection. Do you have that? I just started using it and it's unbelievable. I'm doing follow-ups now. I used to follow up my coaches and maybe check in and go through my downline and say, okay, send a message, check on this person, check on this person. But it gets overwhelming. But now this spits out the people who to follow up with. So I'm following up, I found out two of my coaches' parents died, a family member died. I had no idea, but I did the follow-up, and then I felt so bad. And then some people, I'm getting them re-engaged because you're following up. So that is a significant tool that's really, really helping a lot. And I'm at Success Club 10 on March 6th. So I was pretty excited about that. So it's despite all the craziness, I think when we have systems in place for ourselves, it keeps us organized, thank goodness. And 80 Day is keeping me really I'd probably be drinking every night by now. It's just, you know what I mean? I'd be eating chocolate or chips or, snow days, you're ooh, you kind of get that stress eating. So
you're not the first person that said that as far as 80 Day, the fact that they're scheduled with 80 Day also helps schedule the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Funny how that works. And when you brought up something I want to quickly touch on that we talked about last time, I want to bring up again, is the craziness, the drama, the people who need to be this. I don't think you'll ever not have that. I think you'll always have craziness going on. I think you'll always have people who will need to be in that counseled category. But I think if we, once again, going back to this point, if we know what to do in these situations, we know how to talk to these people, it'll make our lives much easier. You mentioned, Chris, you said, you get burnt out talking to these people. They weigh you down. Absolutely. But I think they weigh you down even more when we don't know how to help them, when we don't have answers, when we don't have suggestions that help them improve, because then we kind of take on a lot of their weight as well. But if we know how to I'm not saying we have to have the answers, but if we know the process of taking the individual and say, okay, you're here, I know how to get you the steps to get you to a better spot, then I think we can look at these people and say, okay, let's get them through this as fast as possible so that they can be more in the provided category and hopefully my paper. I
think that's it. And just provide them with one thing, okay, get back to drinking your shake every day. Okay, next week, we'll talk about the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one simple thing. So you're not saying you need to drink your shake, you need to do your workout, you need to get your nutrition on track, and they're like, whoa, I can't handle all that.
Uh-huh.
So give them one simple task. And we are in the relationship business, so this is part of it.
Yep, it's all of it, I would say. But once again, the fact that you know where they're at and what they need to do next is so key. The only way you do that is by talking to them. Just like you said, go back to the relationship part. And I don't think, once again, you have to manage your time correctly because we can't spend all of our time here. And I know that's what we talked about last time, but I do think it warrants a phone call, and meet in person, not necessarily Facebook Messenger. It's not interpreted the same. It's pick up the phone, let's talk to this individual, and let's get you back to that expectation line. Once again, and I don't know if any of you did this. Megan, if you can chime in as well here in just a second, but did any of you draw out the expectation line or talk about, okay, let's go back to the drawing board about what you want and how to get there? Did anybody try that with anybody?
Yeah. I was going on a team call, and then we threw something else in between. So that's kind of what I want to do on a team call. It just didn't happen yet.
Yeah, I'm scheduled to reteach what you taught us on a team call for Shane upcoming.
Cool.
Like for my bigger upline team.
Cool.
Bigger.
Yeah, but I would be curious, and you guys can keep the group informed on this. But if any of you actually do that, where you draw out the expectation graph and then you ask the questions, tell me what below the line looks like and what above the line looks like. I would be very interested to see how that goes for any individual. But Megan, I know you jumped on just a half second late. We were talking about how these past 2 weeks have gone. If you tried talking to anybody who fell into the counsel category or the provide category, did you have a chance to do that?
The past 2 weeks, I have been like a hot mess. Nothing out of the ordinary for me. I have a couple coaches that are definitely in the counsel category, and I just reach out to them and just encourage them on their health and fitness journey. I don't try to drag people along because I have done that before in my business, and it has almost taken my business into the ground. Am I frozen?
No.
Okay. When you were talking about expectations, do you mean like expectations for your team?
No. Well, it can be for. I don't know. Somebody stole my graph. It took me forever to draw that. No, it's just a simple. It's that one that Tamara's showing. It's the dot. It's the line. Here's you. Here's the expectation, or here's the expected growth path that we set for you, and then you set for yourself, and then you simply by asking, if you do fall below the line, how do you get back to that line?
There, I can see everybody now. Tamara, can you show it again?
Yeah.
Because you know what, last time I was driving, and I usually take notes. Okay.
I was going to ask this before you start talking, is I have all my notes on there, but is there something you have, Kevin, that you could just write down so we can ask the questions?
I think I'm gonna honestly rewatch that one. It was so good, Megan. It's one of those things that I copied and pasted that call, Kevin. That after that call, hearing that you were leaving, I was like, I love.
I know. I'm so bummed. I mean, I'm so happy for you, Kev, but
me too.
Kind of for you.
But you give
mine just goes so good.
I know you guys feel the same way as I do. You give such value. So that call specifically for me is one that I will share and will be a symptom that I prescribe to people as I'm hopefully building more leaders in my downline. So honestly, Megan, I know myself, I want to watch it a second time because it's just, I think this is a good tool, just like that we can do on a quarterly basis with our coaches to just really talk about what are your goals and therefore then what is your expectations. I did this with a new person that I thought kind of went into the symptom area, and her expectations were way over here and her activity levels down here, and I'm like, okay, we've got to readjust this and let me bring you back down. Our goal can certainly be to have 3 new people come on, but let's talk about what that really looks like. That's just paying for your steak. This isn't you're not going to build, a 6-figure income with sending 3 invites. Our, and I don't know if you guys are feeling this, but network marketing is so saturated all over social media right now. And we're different because we are. We don't just shove people in groups they don't want to be a part of. We don't how many times has this happened to you guys? We're dropping.
It's relationships.
Yeah, I'm just like dropped into a group, and literally in this group yesterday, it said, there was a post in the group that said, add 100 of your friends into this group to like be entered to win or some kind of crap. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, like, but that's what our network, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're up against when we send an invite, even if we're trying to, I don't know, I try to build relationships with people and everybody's so wary. It's almost like, like they're in a cocktail party room and they don't want to talk to anybody. Like that's how Facebook is becoming. And so it's really kind of chiseling through that and kind of getting to the point where people really build a level of trust with us that we are really here to help. Like, I'm not here to sell you a pair of leggings. Like, I'm really here to help you change your life, not just sell you a package that's going to sit in your house. There's nothing.
I talk about that on my coach up call. I talk about that because I say how actually Beachbody is very different, but we catch a bad rap just because we are an MLM, but it's extremely different because most MLMs are created with a niche market in mind, with a product to go and get that niche market. And Beachbody wasn't created like that. It was a completely different story, completely different model. Like, it started out not even a network marketing company. And that's what makes it so unique. And we don't just throw a product at you. Oh, here's your lip gloss. See you later. We have to, we're connecting with you every day. We're connecting with you on a very vulnerable thing. You're sending me a picture of you in your underpants, so this is like very serious. And it's the relationship of trust. I tell my coaches that all the time, but like you said, it's funny because I actually have my coaches do quarterly vision board. I call them focus boards, and they're basically built on the vision board thing. I have them do those big yearly ones that they, the grandiose ones that have the big future goals too. But I have them do focus boards where they have three categories. They have their health and fitness, they have personal, and then they have their business. And then I have them pick 3 things that they're going to be like really focused on, and they hone in on specific things, because if they're focusing on all this different stuff on a vision board, it's going to be. So anyways, I'm getting off track with my Tamara, you have ADD too, don't you?
Great. No, I'm like
she's like, girl, you speak in my language. Well, so what's cool though is that when they give me these vision boards, for example, I have a coach, I signed her, and God bless her heart, she put up her vision board. She had already 5 coaches sign, and she said diamond in October, and that was in January. I was like, you're going to be a diamond in February. And she went diamond in February. But I was like, girl, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, but I just want you to know what I see in your potential. And like, do you realize how close you are? And these women that you are bringing on their health and fitness journey, they're getting results. And as long as you're helping them, they're going to show other people, and those people they're organically going to bring others on. And that's going to be your emeralds. That's exactly what's happening. She actually is like building a strong diamond in the process right now. But then actually another girl put up her focus board last night. She's kind of late to the game because we are in March. And she put that she wants to pay off like all this debt and reach and maintain emerald by October. And I'm like you said, like, I'm like, what? Like pay off thousands of dollars of debt? Like, that's not where, like, she doesn't even get point. Like, she's put like a point on the board. Like you said, it's like, whoa, like you're over here and this is that's there. So I have to rein her in. I had another coach too that was like, I'm going to be an elite coach this year. And she was a coach. And I'm like, honey, like, unless you're going emerald tomorrow and diamond this month and recruiting like 20 people a month, no, that's not happening. Like I had to like rein her in. But I'm also known to have a little bit more of a tough love approach. But my therapist actually told me I'm a no nonsense, because I've had to learn how to be more graceful in how I talk to them. I'm not saying it the way I say it to you guys.
Well, yeah, we understand that. But that brings up a good point. And that's something that I can't scream loud enough from the rooftops is the assumptions that exist in our company. And you gave 3 excellent examples. People who their assumptions were below what they could achieve, and assumptions that were way out of reach. And I say this all the time, but in any case when there is false assumptions that logically aren't met, people would get frustrated. And that's when people fall below the line. And I drew it again. Here it is. I drew it again. It took me forever to draw, but I drew it again. But this is so what, Megan, kind of what we talked about last time was, here's where you are at now, and here's your expected growth with your time here at Beachbody. So what are the things you need to do to stay above the line? And what are the things that will happen that will make you fall below the line? This is a very, as Tamara mentioned, this is a very healthy conversation to have on a quarterly basis. So next quarter, you come to them and say, okay, here's your paper, and it's written down. Here, actual bullet points. Here are the things that you said that happen fall below the line. Here are the things where you stay above the line. A quarter has passed. Where are you at on this line? How are you progressing? Are you moving in the right direction? And then have them, you obviously have your assumption, talking about assumptions of, are they staying above the line or below the line? But it's what they think they're doing. If they think they're saying, oh yeah, I'm definitely on the line. Cool. How do you know that? And have them repeat back. This past quarter, I know that because, and then you say, okay, so do we need to reestablish what this looks like? Do we need to talk about the good or the bad? It's a very healthy exercise to do so that people stay on an expected growth. And it doesn't have to be like a spike, like a straight up. If their expectation is to grow at a slower pace than you expect, but they're doing it, that's okay. They're going to stick around. They're going to grow at a decent pace, a turtle's pace, but they're growing. Rather than, I expect to do this, but my actions are showing below the line, then that's when people quit. And we do not want people to quit. We would rather have them be lifers, not progressing, than people who sign up and quit. That doesn't produce anything that we're looking for. And so everything that you guys have been talking about falls directly on this expectation line. And that's the topic. We only have 10, 15 minutes left. So let's quickly jump over to last time we talked about what are the behaviors, attitudes and what to do if people fall below the line. Today is a much happier conversation. We're going to talk about what to do when people are on the expectation path or even above it, and how to respond to them, how to talk to them so that they continue to stay above that line. And so if you guys remember, what we did last time with this is we talked about there's two categories that fall below the line. That was the counseled and the provide category. The 2 categories that are above the line, the first one is coaching. I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of this. But the people, so the reason coaching is there is to reinforce and sustain positive performances and behaviors. So they are showing good growth. Their behaviors, their performance is on the expected growth. And so that's how you know if these people need to be coached. Some other things, they're showing potential. They need to be encouraged. They need to be challenged. This is how you'll know this person falls into this category. Now, it says here that a leader's time when focusing on your team, the most time you should be spending, you should put the most time into this category, not the counsel, not the provide, but the coaching category, because these are your up-and-comers. These are the people who are showing such good potential that they still need to be talked to, they still need to be coached, but they are meeting expectations. When you give them assignments, they're doing those assignments. They're showing that they can and will do these things. when you talk to them, you acknowledge their efforts. You make sure that they're challenged, and the only way that you know that they're challenged is by, once again, talking to them, understanding where they're at on their comfort level, and then giving them things that still fall outside the comfort level, but it's much different than the provide category that we talked about last time. That comfort level is much wider. It's much bigger, and one step outside that comfort zone is a much more difficult thing than somebody talking to in the provide category. But the only way you do that is because you know the difference between where they're at below or above the line, and now you know that they're above the line, that they're meeting expectations. Okay, let's stretch you just a little bit more, and then you give them an assignment. You talk to them a couple weeks later. How did it go? And you continue to give them encouragement, acknowledgement, recognition, and a new challenge. These are the people who are hungry. These are the people who want it. And they're doing things, so we need to keep them on the path. I'm talking a little too much. Questions? Yeah, Chris.
What page are you in the book, the Frog book? Can you just tell me what page? Because then I can go look.
134.
Okay, thanks.
Is where it starts.
Because I know I just missed all this. Of course, everything I just wanted to hear.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. We know you prefaced us with the craziness of the snowstorm. So, okay. But are there thoughts and questions that people have with this coaching category?
So everything you just said is right in the book, right?
Most.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there was I know I said this before I got that call. If there was, is there a way you can just do a document to write this all out? I mean, I know we're all taking notes, but I don't know. I'm asking you to. Maybe we need to just do it. But
yeah, no, I could.
I just feel like really feel like this was helpful for us. That I really want to understand. I don't want to just put it on a call and then be like, oh, what did he say? I want to really have it in front of me. Yeah. Exactly the questions we need to ask, that kind of stuff. Because I think this is a really good training with our team.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. That's not a problem. I'll do a cleaner graph, and I'll just kind of do the above and below. So
yeah, and then just like the questions, if you're below this, above this, and that'd be great.
Yeah. And you guys remember last time we talked about how the doctor prescription thing. So what does it says here? If somebody falls into this category, the correct prescription to give is envisioning. You help them see it goes back to what Megan said, the you call it the focus board, the vision board. You help them see what else is out there. You help this one, you're brainstorming a lot with these people. Like the book says, most of your time when focused on your team are working with these people because this is a fun time. This is where you get to say, okay, the sky is the limit. Let's talk about what you can do. Let's start painting that vision of what could be, and then let's talk about those expected behaviors and attitudes and actions that need to take place for you to stay on that path. Remember, these people in this category, they still need that coaching. They still need that talking to be guided, because they're so excited that they may not know exactly what a straight path looks like. So your job is to keep them on that path, but you let them grow at the pace that's comfortable for them. And the last tip that it gives here is with the people in here is to not snoopervise is the term that they use, because these people are showing growth. They want to expand. They want to grow. They don't need to be supervised. They need to have that brainstorming, accountability, success partner level. You guys have heard me talk about how there's the accountability partner and then there's a success partner. To me, they're two very different things. Accountability partner is just that, somebody who checks in to make sure you did what you needed to do. But a success partner, I think, falls right into this category. Success partner is somebody you brainstorm with. Somebody you say, hey, what do you think about this? What if we ran a group about this? What, like you're brainstorming. You're helping each other become successful. The accountability part, you know how to be accountable. That's not the issue. But you need somebody to bounce ideas off of. These are those people who fall into that category. So if you have somebody who's showing great potential and they don't have a success partner, now you know what your homework assignment is, because they're hungry. they wanted. They're maybe a little bit new and fresh, so they need to bounce ideas off each other. But I think when two minds come together, great things, at least two minds come together, great things happen. So they need for that to happen. And as much as we want it to be, they want it to be you, it would be better if it was somebody else that they really connect with.
I think it also has to be the success partner is someone that pushes you out of your comfort zone too. You know, the accountability is sort of like a challenge group. Check in, are we doing it? We're doing our thing. Now I need to get to the next level. And that's where your you have to find the right success partner that you're not both needy and, you know, just kind of checking in, but you need to push each other out of your comfort zone, but then you also need to make sure that you're giving tasks that challenge them to move forward too.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Well said. So do you guys have questions about, we're going to move on to the last category. Any questions with this coaching category? So once again, these are people who fall either on the line or above the line. They're on the expected path. How do we keep them on that expected path? It is through coaching them. No questions? Okay. Then the last category, and this man, we all love for everybody to be in this category. The last one is called champion. This is where the champion category. These are people who are obviously, they on their own can stay above the line. These are people who are rock stars, who have it finally clicked, and they have taken off. I'm glad Megan's on this call. She has a perfect example of this in her team, Ashley Rockland, who simply needs to be champions. What that means is you make sure that nothing gets in their way, that they aren't bogged down by other things. You absorb some of the things that come at them so that they can stay on the straight path, so that they can continue to grow at an incredible rate. And Megan has done a phenomenal job with this, of making sure that she's recognized, making sure that any criticism that comes her way is deflected off so that Ashley can go do her thing. Now, these require regular check-ins, but these aren't accountability calls like they have in the past. These are very much, hey, how's it going? What can I do for you? I'm here for you. I want to make sure that you continue to grow at the pace. You know, we don't want to slow them down at any rate. And Megan, I'd love for you to jump in with how you've been able to do that with Ashley. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Sorry.
We can hear you.
Okay, so Ashley's very much she's a very forward focused worker, which is why she obviously is very productive. So I don't try to get in her way. Like, I'm not constantly messaging her or anything. I reach out. She knows that she can reach out to me, number one. Number two, I will reach out to say, you know, every once in a while I'll browse through her downline and I'll see somebody that sticks out to me and as a strong up and comer, and I'll just shoot her a message and be like, hey, you know, that girl, like, look at that girl. There's something coming there, you know, that I see, just to get her excited and keep her momentum high. As far as she's like me, she's a Ruby personality. So she always loves a challenge and she loves recognition. So I'm always giving her recognition whenever I'm actually taking her to Brendan Bouchard High Performance Academy in a couple weeks. I'm going to take her to Phoenix for that.
I'm going to that as well.
Well, you will see there.
Well, there's a lot of people, but okay.
That's her elite gift this year.
That's fun. Fun.
Yeah. So
that's a perfect example, by the way. Perfect example of how to champion somebody. Perfect.
Well, and that's exactly, you know what I said, and I gave her two choices because I was going to buy her a little Louis Vuitton, or I said I'm going to give you I gave her two choices. I said I have a small little novelty gift I can give you for your elite gift, or you can do B, which I knew she was probably going to jump on B because she knows that it's going to help her grow. And she was like, yep, let's go to Brendan Bouchard.
Perfect. Perfect example of how to champion somebody. You continue to provide them opportunities to excel. So once again, you provide, you protect, and you sponsor them. You are there to protect them. Those are the kind of the things that happen for people who fall into this category. Now, admittedly, we would love to have everybody in this category. This probably has the fewest people in this category, but once people get there, we do need to know how to react to them, help them, respond to them, so that they can become continually successful and they don't lose their momentum. Like I said, so that's kind of the top category. But most of your time, and we're wrapping up here, most of your time should be continue to focus on the coaching category. Megan, when you before you jumped on the call, Chris and Tamara were talking about what they notice is people who fall into the, going once again below the line, the counsel category, are people who have been around kind of a long term. And the people in the provide category, where they're falling below the line because they don't know what they need to do, those are your newer coaches. So my guess is that the majority of your time when working with coaches are going to be in the provide category and the coach category, which are just below the line and just above the line. That's where you're going to spend the majority of your time, because you're making sure this is where your influence can be the greatest. This is where you can take somebody and do this graph with them and help them stay relatively on that growth path. You'll have people who will fall into the counsel category. Those are the tough ones. Those are the ones that we need to reach down and continue to try and I think last time we talked about the bless and pause rather than bless and release. It's okay if people don't come out of that really fast, but we got to make sure that we talk to those people. But the majority of our time are in the provide and in the coach category, making sure that we are that's where we can have the most influence with the people we work with. And if they jump above to the champion category, awesome. I'm here to support you. I will give you the things you need to do. But that's so anyways, hopefully we're out of time now, but hopefully this graph gives you a good understanding of what to do, where to focus your time, and once again, doing this with the coaches you work with is such an easy thing, but it gives you such insight into what they think success looks like, what they think are the expectations to reach that level of success, and then to continually go back to this and say, okay, here's where you were last time. How are you doing? Are you above the line, below the line? Are you right above or right at? And then ask questions. Once again, I think we talked about this last time. As a leader, as much as you want to just provide information, it's better to ask questions. Let them come up with their ahas. Let them come up with their to-do list. And then you simply guide. By doing that, you will help them get to that expected growth, and it will continue to move, and grow. So that's kind of the 2-part training that we talked about. So once again, homework here, and I'll tell Dar this. I think he's done the past ones, and so I'll tell him to do for you as well. Is to identify the people who fall into the coaching category, and if there are any into the champion category, and then to reach out to them and kind of do the same thing with them. And kind of report back in 2 weeks. Okay, the people who fell above the line, who are in the coaching category, I talked to them. Here's how it went, for good or for bad. And now that you kind of know all 4 categories, the 2 below and the 2 above, it would be a good idea to maybe kind of list it out. Here are the people who fall into each category. Here's when I last talked to them. Here's what we talked about. I have a paper for each person. And then I think you'll feel more organized. You'll feel more at peace of knowing where you are at and what your expected growth looks like and how you're going to get there. Rather than say, man, kind of going back what Megan said, I'd love to become elite this year. You're saying this. Cool. But right now, if it's just a wish and you don't have that exact plan and you don't know the people who are going to help you get there, that's just it. It is a wish. And it's going to be a frustrating year because things won't go according to plan. But if you know everybody, and if you know exactly what category they're in, and you know who to focus on, then things happen because it's on purpose. It's a purposeful, prescribed thing that you guys can work on. And that's the fun of it. That's where you guys can have the biggest influence. And then your goals can be met because you know exactly where you were and how to get there. So. All right, we're done right on time, 11:45. So any final questions that you guys have before we jump off?
Can I just clarify, is it coach, council, coach, champion. Are those the categories?
So I'll start from the bottom and go to the top. The bottom is counsel.
Yeah.
The second one is provide.
Yeah.
Those are the two below. Then the next one is coach. And the last one is champion. And that happens to be on page 123.
Oh, good. Perfect. Thank you.
There it is.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I just want to say too, like, I don't know if you guys can see, but like that line, right? Like when we're talking about the activities, like this is where the coaching, and this is like the biggest block above the line, right? Like where Ashley is, or as a champion, you don't really have to spend a whole lot of time. And you shouldn't be spending a whole lot of time with the people who need counsel. Like you're just kind of checking in. Here I am, I'm here with you. But these people who need the tools here and here, where we need to be spending the more amount of time, I would think.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm like, hey, you want to run a Diamond Dash together? I would love to have you go live and train. I'm like, I want to learn from you,
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. I love that idea. So once again, if you could just keep the group page active, go back and talk about some of the things that your ahas from today's call, and this kind of here's my plan for the next 2 weeks. I'll have Jeff have you guys report back on how these next 2 weeks will go for you. But once again, the more we focus on the people and where they're at and helping them, the better our team will be. And you know what you need to do to become successful, but true success comes when a lot of people help you along the way, when it's a team effort. And that's what we're after. So anyways, this was great. I was thrilled that that he gave me the opportunity to do this mastermind call. Hopefully he lets me do it again, as long as Kim didn't know about this. So we're kind of keeping it on the down low. So yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for jumping on, and hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks,
I hope
guys.
so too. We'll miss you if we don't.
Thanks.
We're happy for you, but we're still mad at you.
Thanks.